Have you ever missed a family dinner because of a match? Stayed up until 3 a.m. for a game being played thousands of miles away? Felt your heart physically sink when your team lost, like something real and important was taken from you? And then the next day, without anyone forcing you, you were right back, watching the highlights, reading the analysis, counting the days to the next fixture. If that sounds familiar, you already know that football is not just a sport for you. It is something deeper, something that lives in a part of you that logic cannot fully explain. Watch till the end, because by the last point you will finally understand why football does not just entertain you. It completes something in you that nothing else quite reaches. Let's break down the real psychology of people who love football. 1. Their brain is literally addicted to uncertainty. Ask yourself this honestly. Is it the goals that keep you watching, or is it the tension before the goal? The moment when anything could happen. When 1 second can change everything. Psychologists say football is one of the most psychologically powerful sports a human brain can consume. And the reason is not the skill or the spectacle. It is the uncertainty. Every match is an unpredictable sequence of moments where the outcome hangs by a thread. That unpredictability triggers the brain's dopamine system in a way that few other experiences can match. Dopamine is not just the pleasure chemical. It is the anticipation chemical. It fires hardest not when something good happens, but when something good might happen. And football, more than almost any other sport, is built entirely out of that feeling. The near miss, the VAR check, the injury time corner. Every single one of those moments is a dopamine hit, and the brain remembers. And it comes back for more. 2. Football gives them a tribe, and humans are wired for tribes. Here is a question that might make you think. Have you ever felt an instant connection with a complete stranger just because they support the same team? Have you ever hugged someone you had never met before after a last-minute winner? That is not just excitement. That is ancient human psychology activating in real time. Research on social identity theory shows that humans are fundamentally tribal creatures. For most of human history, belonging to a group was not a preference. It was survival. Football taps directly into that ancient wiring. When you wear your team's shirt, when you sing in a stadium with 50,000 people, when you argue passionately about your club with a stranger on the internet, you are not just being a fan. You are fulfilling one of the deepest psychological needs a human being has. The need to belong. The need to be part of something bigger than yourself. Football doesn't just give you a team to support. It gives you a people to belong to. 3. It is one of the most powerful emotional releases available to human beings. Think about this carefully. When did you last cry in public without feeling embarrassed? When did you last scream at the top of your lungs without anyone judging you? When did you last feel pure, unfiltered joy with a room full of strangers? For most people, the answer to all 3 questions is the same. Football. Psychologists call this catharsis, the release of deeply held emotional tension through an external experience. Modern life is emotionally compressed. People carry stress, frustration, grief, and pressure that they have no healthy outlet for. Football provides that outlet in a way that is socially acceptable, communally shared, and emotionally complete. The stadium or the living room becomes the one place where a person can feel everything fully, without apology, without explanation, without consequence. And that kind of emotional freedom, however briefly it lasts, is genuinely healing. For they use football to process hope, and life teaches them they need it. Here is the point that goes deeper than most people expect. Football is fundamentally a game about hope. Your team is losing 2-0 with 10 minutes left, and you still believe. You have watched your club finish mid-table for 15 years, and you still buy the season ticket. You have had your heart broken by this sport more times than you can count, and you still come back. Psychologists say this is not irrational. It is profoundly human. Research on hope theory shows that people who maintain hope in the face of repeated disappointment develop stronger psychological resilience than those who protect themselves by expecting nothing. Football fans are not deluded. They are practicing one of the most important psychological skills a person can have: The ability to believe that things can change, that one moment can turn everything around, that the final whistle has not blown yet. For people whose real lives sometimes feel stuck, that message is not just entertainment. It is oxygen. 5. Winning and losing shapes their identity in ways they don't fully realize. This is the one most football fans have never stopped to think about. And this is exactly why staying till the end matters. Psychologists have a term called burgeoning, basking in reflected glory. When your team wins, something remarkable happens to your psychology. You feel more confident, more social, more capable. Studies have actually shown measurable increases in productivity, self-esteem, and positive social behavior in people the day after their team wins. But the reverse is equally powerful and equally real. When your team loses, mood drops. Motivation shrinks. Some fans report genuine grief responses after major defeats. Not because they are overreacting, but because they have invested something deeply personal into that result. Psychologists call this identity fusion, the point at which a fan's sense of self becomes genuinely intertwined with their team's performance. They are not just watching football anymore. They are living it. And their emotional world rises and falls with every result, because on some deep psychological level, the team's story has become part of their own. 6. Football connects them to something that time cannot touch. This is the most human point of all. Ask any football fan about the first match they ever watched and watch what happens to their face. Something softens. Something lights up. Because football is not just a sport for most people. It is a thread that runs through their entire life. The matches watched with a father who is no longer here. The goals celebrated with friends who have since moved to different cities. The shirt worn as a child that still sits folded in a drawer somewhere. Psychologists call this autobiographical memory anchoring, the way certain repeated experiences become permanently woven into the story of who we are. Football doesn't just give people something to watch. It gives them a living, breathing timeline of their own life. Every season is a chapter. Every trophy is a milestone. Every relegation is a scar. And through all of it, the love for the game remains unchanged, unshakable, inexplicable to anyone who has never felt it, and completely obvious to everyone who has. So the next time someone asks you why you care so much about football, you don't have to justify it anymore. Your brain is chasing dopamine in one of the most sophisticated ways nature ever designed. You are fulfilling an ancient human need for belonging and tribe. You are releasing emotions that modern life gives you no other space to feel. You are practicing hope when the world keeps giving you reasons to stop. You are living and dying with results because you have invested something real of yourself into something real. And you are carrying every person and every memory that ever sat beside you and watched a match with you. That is not just loving a sport. That is being fully, completely, beautifully human. If you love understanding the psychology behind why people feel what they feel and love what they love, subscribe now. Because on this channel, we don't just watch the beautiful game. We decode the beautiful mind behind it.